Hey guys, Jan David Sutar, AFC Northerners, how you doing? Been a while, I know, but there's been a lot of stuff lately that's been cropping up, and I wanted to make sure that we touched on it. And I also got a question to throw out over to Gabe as well. Figured it'd be a good time to get him back in the mix. So first, let's address the elephant in the room. Alex Collins is no longer a Baltimore Raven after being arrested this morning from a traffic-related gun charge. I believe that he had a loose gun in the car and a bunch of weed, apparently, from what I understand. So it sounds like we have room for that to end. It's unfortunate. I hate to see anyone go down like that. That's just not a good look. And I hope that he learns how to make better decisions. That would be best for him. So then also wanted to touch on Michael Crabtree. He's gone. That's interesting. I want to see. Okay, so I have a conspiracy theory, and that is that I'm curious to see how much of the draft really changes under DaCosta, because it is my secret conspiracy fear that the reason the draft has gotten worse is because DaCosta has been more involved. I know, it's probably stupid stition, but it's a theory that has been in my head for a little bit, because I sort of pay attention to what he says when he says about certain players, and then I see what those players wind up doing. So it's just a little interesting to me. So Michael Crabtree is gone, which means that we now have a RB and WR, completely open in that, which was not really a surprise. Apparently, there's still talks going on, or ongoing rather, regarding Sizzle for Terrell, and that's interesting. I'm wondering how that will work out. I think that we may see some shakeups, Ravens fans. I really do. I think that we may see some things that we're not really expecting to see in this. I think that we may. Remember when Anquan Bolden just left after the Super Bowl, and then we had Ed Reed gone and Bernard Pollard? Makes me think on that, right? It makes me think on the coaching staff of John Harbaugh and Eric DaCosta, and to see whether or not that there will be more, big changes that were really surprising gone. So, I don't know. I don't have enough evidence, but just know that, it's something I think about. So the other part of this is that I'm really kind of fascinated to learn more about what comes out of this combine. Because, we all saw DK Metcalf today, and Jesus Christ. Oh my, what is that kid made of? It's insane. He's a superhero. He's just, insane. 4.33. Is he 6'5", 228? Is that what I read? 6'3"? Oh, man. That kid's going in the top 10. There's no way we get him at 22. I'm sorry, guys. There's just unless he has 12 drops. If he has drops tomorrow, then that's a different story. But I just don't see that kid going down. I'm sorry. I know I'm salivating over him too, right? So that's interesting. Some less important stuff going on. There's been interesting talk about Iowa wide receiver Butler, who's been training with Anquan Bolden and some Ravens guys, and he apparently he's got a strong connection to Baltimore. And there was a running back that's in the draft as well that is a hometown kid. So that would be great to have them, but I want to see what they do. Obviously, I'd like to see more tape. I haven't had a chance to really dive into tape yet. I know. I feel lazy. I'm sorry. My bad. So there's that. Other than that, I think that we still have a lot to see. With Joe Flacco now gone, I haven't even had a chance really to touch on Flacco now going to the Broncos. Not a big surprise, actually. I think that that's an interesting fit. I will be really interesting to see what they do with their offensive line. Because I think that they could use a little help there. But, overall, I don't know that it's a bad fit. change my view. I would also say that I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see who we keep in his backup. I think that if we keep like an RG, if we keep RG3 as backup, then we are definitely going towards like a Lamar model, right? With a very mobile quarterback. But if we wind up with going something a little bit more conservative, then that's interesting, right? That's a little bit of a telegraph, unless that person is there specifically to teach him how to be, more stead and not as big of a runner. We don't need our quarterback being our number one running back as well. I think that again, it's unsustainable, but I mean, it's the new NFL. So it talks about Le'Veon Bell. All right, let's skip over to good old Le'Veon. Le'Veon Bell coming to Baltimore. Even if I love the smack talk that it allows us to have, I don't know that he fits. I don't know that he fits into our scheme. I just don't know that he fits into the scheme, and it's not as simple as like he can do anything. Maybe he can, but I don't know that he's the type of downhill runner we need. I think that it's an interesting idea, and it would be interesting to see him train, especially under with Roman and those guys. But I mean, let's think about that. Is he a good fit? Whenever you see what like Gus Edwards did and Buck Allen did, even though they weren't like crazy amazing. And don't get me wrong, like the Ravens haven't had like superstars in a while, right? We haven't like we've had great players. We've had really, really good players, but we haven't had superstars like in their prime in a while. I love Steve Smith, but he was not in the prime, right? I mean, let's be honest. He's still amazing. I mean, Anquan Bolden maybe at the prime, but we haven't had a lot of like really good, spectacular players in a little while. It's been years. So there's also that allure, right? Same thing with like AB, right? And this I want to pitch over to Gabe or Chris, because AB is looking more and more unhappy. I mean, if anybody has HBO or you go on Twitter and just look up AB on the shop, the barbershop with LeBron talking about Tomlin. And then the interview he had talking like that was kind of woe is me about he doesn't need to be in football. I am human, you're human, but this game doesn't call for the type of like normal everyday humanity or drive. It calls for a drive that is so supreme, and to have a player come out and say, "I don't need this," I don't know. I don't know how that feels. I don't know if that's somebody I want on my team with that level of ego and just the ability to like, I don't know, throw people under the bus. I'm not sure that I really would enjoy having him on the team. I think that it would probably lead to some problems, especially knowing Harbaugh, right? Anyway, so that's my thoughts on that. What I want to know is, I would love to know what Gabe or Chris are thinking about the latest interviews with AB, like how they see it. And, it may not be worth mentioning much to them, but for real, I would love to know, like, looking back on their previous games and previous seasons with AB, like where it all went wrong. Like that would be really interesting to see, like, was this thing the way it was from the start in their opinion, or was it like something that has recently progressed? People change, things happen. So anyway, guys, sorry it's been a while. I'm really, really sorry for the weird background. I'm not at my normal spot, so I've got to record this, but I wanted to get a video out to you guys. So hopefully be kicking that off to the Steelers guys, and I think DGBG just posted one earlier, so that's cool. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna sign off. I'm really excited for this new season. Go Ravens! Fuck the Patriots. Bye, guys.